There's a tiny hill town in Emilia Romagna that somehow looks like Tuscany, feels medieval, and still isn't overrun with tourists. This is Brisighella. 3 dramatic hills, a medieval fortress, a clock tower that tells time a little bit differently, olive oil that's been produced here since Roman times, and it's recognized as one of the most beautiful villages in the country. But the real story is in the details. Let's get tipsy, y'all.
Picture a village that feels like it's frozen in time. That's Brisighella, a medieval jewel tucked into the hills of Emilia Romagna between Florence and Ravenna. Long before Instagram travel goals, this place was all about strategic views and defense. The town as we know it began to take shape in the late 1200s when the mercenary leader built the first fortress on one of the 3 rocky hills that guard the valley. Fast forward about 100 years, and the lord of the nearby Faenza added to the defenses with the fortress that still looms over the rooftops today. From then on, Brisighella wasn't just a town, it was a contested medieval stronghold. Over the centuries, the town evolved slowly but stylishly. Walls were built, markets grew, and the heart of the village expanded beyond its fortification. But Brisighella isn't just about castles and medieval drama. It has been producing olive oil here since the Roman times. Thanks to its unique microclimate and those chalky hills, olive trees have thrived here for centuries. Today, Brisighello DOP olive oil is one of the most prized in Italy, known for its bright green color and slightly peppery finish. This little town built a reputation not just on defense, but on what could grow. Today, the ancient cobblestone and pastel houses feel like stepping into a story you want to be a part of, with olive oil tastings, wine, and hilltop views as your happily ever after. Just made it to where we're gonna do our tasting. Who doesn't love an olive oil tasting first thing in the morning? We came to Brisighella for castles, but we're starting with their olive oil. We are at Torre di Brisighella, tasting what might be one of the most underrated food experiences in northern Italy. It's a guided tasting of 3 different Brisighello olive oils, each with its own personality. This place is incredible. I knew this area was known for olive oil. What I did not expect when I walked in was gasoline handles where you could fill up olive oil or wine. So I've already told Chris they only come in liters, so you have to do it a minimum of 2 or 3 depending on which one it is. I would love to get some olive oil or wine via a gas handle. So cool. So this shop's going to be a co-op. They have all different local products from all around the Emilia Romagna region. It is exactly 9:30 because we're overachievers and we're early, and we have the full glass of red in front of us. So this will be a very fun start to the day. For the tasting, we tried 3 local olive oils. And yes, it starts with what basically feels like a shot of olive oil before you taste them again over bread. The first was a blend, really fresh, with a little peppery kick at the end. The second was bold, vibrant, and super smooth. That one ended up being our favorite. And the last one is made from a rare local olive with a classic spicy finish that hits the back of your throat. This was our first olive oil tasting here in Italy, and this did not disappoint. And if you guys are looking for something that's super off the beaten path, Brisighella, this whole town is going to be that. So if for some reason you're watching our channel and you're not into booze, welcome. You can run up and down this road just stopping at different olive oil production places and sampling olive oil all day. Now we went for a wine charcuterie board olive oil tasting because we're us, but the whole thing was just absolutely fantastic, and this far exceeded my expectations of what we were going to get this morning. And I told her this was the best breakfast I think I've ever had. I had to do it. We got 3 liters of olive oil out of the gasoline machine. I had to, y'all, I couldn't. We actually go through a liter or 2 of olive oil, at least a liter every month. We cook with it all the time. And all of our Italian friends that we know buy giant liter things. So now we're just super Italian.
And there's wine in here too.
I mean, it was a great stop. So from here, we're gonna go work off everything we just put in our bodies, and we're gonna go to a castle.
We drove up to Rocca Manfrediana, which is Brisighella's medieval fortress perched on one of the 3 chalky hills that guard this pastel hill town. Built back in 1310 by Francesco Manfredi, this fortress was originally meant to watch over the valley and defend the village below it. Over the centuries, it changed hands numerous times before finally becoming part of Italy in 1860. The moment you arrive at the Porta delle Gabelle and start climbing the ramparts, you can feel how important this place once was. Just imagine the soldiers on watch here, looking out for enemies and smoke signals across the valley. Inside, there's narrow spiral staircases which hug the ancient towers, and you'll climb through rooms that once housed castellans and defenders, ending up at a circular gallery with a panoramic view that is just the chef's kiss. Tight staircases down there.
It's a good thing we didn't eat more at breakfast.
From the top, you'll see the rolling hills, olive groves, and vineyards that make this part of Emilia Romagna feel like a secret garden.
This one is like pretty narrow. I'm 5'5". This is a little hole. It keeps going. In my next life, I will be a castle documentary maker. Next life. Place is incredible. It is so charming. I mean, look at this. Oh, I'm in love. I'm in love. We feel like we cheated since we drove to the castle. So we came back into town and now we are going to be walking up to the clock tower here. And I swear these little towns, man, especially this one being so hilly, you've got to be in shape when you come to these places, or at least be prepared like I am to huff and puff for about 5 minutes. Everyone said this walk wasn't too bad. Stay tuned. At least the view is pretty.
Believe it or not, this wasn't always a clock tower. Back in 1290, before watches were a thing, a Romagna mercenary boss built a fort here out of giant chalk blocks. Basically a giant lookout post to keep an eye on the nearby castle and anyone who might try to sneak up on the valley. For centuries, it worked with the Rocca as part of Brisighella's defensive system, guarding the town from invaders and keeping local politics interesting. Like most things medieval, it got damaged and rebuilt more than a few times over the years. Then in 1850, someone had the brilliant idea to stick a clock on it. But not just any clock though, an old school one with a 6-hour dial in the Ora Italica style, or Italian time, which is basically time measured the way monks did it before Napoleon changed the rules. You'll see the 6 at the top instead of the 12, so just kind of go with it. Now, the Torre dell'Orologio isn't just an ancient watchtower. It's a reminder that time in Italy moves a little bit differently. Climb up or just admire it from the path between the tower and Rocca, and you'll get views that pair perfectly with an olive oil tasting and a glass of Sangiovese.
I am not the accountant of the two of us. He is.
You missed a lot of steps.
I got to over 330 steps to get up there from the city center. Chris says I missed a lot, so let's just say over 350 steps to get up there. So keep that in mind if you don't want to do that. There is a way to park and be on a flat surface. We wanted to work for our next glass of vino. If you blink, you might miss it, but if you walk down Via degli Asini, you're literally walking through medieval engineering, just built for donkeys. Yes, donkeys. This covered, elevated street dates back to the 1300s and was originally designed so transport animals could move goods through town safely, protected from weather, and more importantly, from the chaos in the main streets below. Back then, Brisighella was a working hill town. Traders were hauling chalk, oil, wine, and other goods through these narrow alleys. And instead of clogging up the village center, they created this raised, covered path. The name literally means Donkey Street. No romance, no mystery, just practical medieval logistics. What makes it cool is how it hugs the hillside. On one side, you have houses, and on the other side, you've got these stone arches that let in light, and you can look out onto the street below. It feels hidden and almost kind of secret, even though it was once one of the most functional parts of this town. And this is why we love places like Brisighella, because it's not just castles and views, it's kind of this little everyday stuff. The infrastructure, the donkey traffic plan of the 1300s. This is just so adorable and unexpected and absolutely amazing. Brisighella might not be the biggest name in Italy, but that's kind of the point and charm of this place. Between the fortress views, the Donkey Street logistics, and olive oil that low-key stole the show today, I'd say this little town definitely has something going for it. It's small, it's easy to explore in a half day, and it quietly delivers on history, views, and very good food. Is it a must-see? Well, that depends on the kind of traveler you are. But would we come back? Let's just say we didn't leave empty-handed. If you enjoyed this, we have a whole playlist for our other Italy videos, and you can check those out here. In our next video, we'll be spending a whole day exploring the little-known country of San Marino that is completely surrounded by Italy. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video. Thanks for watching. Cheers, y'all.